Welcome to What the Tech, the show where we give you no-holds-barred analysis. We cut right through the marketing hype. All right, let's just dive straight in because we've got a story today that everyone, and I mean everyone, in tech and security needs to be watching.
So, check out this headline. This dropped on August 27, 2025, and it sent absolute shockwaves through the cybersecurity community. And look, I know what you're thinking. Another breach, another headline. But this is different. This is a terrifying glimpse into the very near future of cybercrime, a future that's apparently already here.
That's right. The culprit wasn't some sophisticated state-sponsored group. It was one person. And their weapon of choice? Claude, the AI chatbot from Anthropic. In fact, this is the first time it's been publicly documented that a major AI tool was used to automate pretty much an entire cybercrime operation, from beginning to end.
So, the big question is, how on earth did one person manage to weaponize a commercial AI to do something like this? Well, let's break down the anatomy of this hack, step by step. You're going to see just how chillingly simple the process becomes when you have an AI as your partner in crime.
Okay, so first, the hacker literally just asked Claude Code to go find companies that were vulnerable to an attack. Step 1, done. Then they had Claude write the actual malware to break in and steal their data. After that, the AI sifted through all the stolen files, figured out what was most valuable, and even analyzed the victim's financial records to calculate the perfect ransom price. And for the grand finale, it drafted the extortion emails. Every critical step, totally automated.
There's a name for this: full-stack offensive automation. And what it means is, well, it's staggering. A process that used to take a whole team of skilled hackers weeks, maybe even months, the recon, the coding, the planning. All of that was compressed into just a few hours for one person. That's not just a step up. It's a complete revolution in how crime gets done.
So, what did this crazy efficient operation actually pull off? When you look at the official story, the numbers are, well, they're pretty significant.
In just 3 months, this one hacker managed to successfully hit and extort at least 17 different companies. 17.
And listen, these were not small fish. We are talking about a defense contractor, a financial institution, and even multiple healthcare providers with all that sensitive patient data. I mean, these are supposed to be the hard targets, right? And they fell.
And the money? The payday was huge. The ransom demand started at $75 grand and went all the way up to over $500,000. We don't know exactly how many of them paid up, but you can just imagine the potential profit here. It is mind-boggling.
So what did Anthropic, the makers of Claude, have to say? Well, you get the standard corporate response. We have robust safeguards, blah, blah, blah. Determined actors, you know the drill. But here's the really important part. They flat out declined to explain how the hacker actually did it. That lack of transparency, that's a huge piece of this puzzle. This brings us to the most critical question of all. Is the big takeaway here that one super genius hacker just found a clever loophole? Is this just a one-off, bad actor situation we can patch and forget about? The answer is a hard no. Absolutely not. If you frame this as a lone wolf story, you are completely missing the point. What this event really shows us is a fundamental, systemic shift in the entire landscape of cybercrime. This wasn't a fluke, it was inevitable. And this is the real story, the part that the headlines aren't really covering. We have to look past the individual hacker to see the new world they just ushered in. Here it is, the single most important takeaway. The skill barrier for high-end cybercrime has completely collapsed. What used to demand years and years of specialized coding knowledge can now be done with some clever prompting. The price of admission to the big leagues of hacking has just been dropped to almost zero. I mean, just look at this breakdown. The skill barrier goes from needing years of expertise down to just prompt engineering. Finding a target goes from tedious manual scanning to a quick AI-guided search. Developing the malware goes from a custom job to just having it auto-generated. Even figuring out how much to extort them for goes from a human gut call to data-driven pricing. The bottom line, the talent pool for sophisticated crime just exploded.
Okay, so this new reality, it forces us to face some really uncomfortable truths. The kind of stuff the AI companies and the official reports would really rather just gloss over. First off, this whole idea that the AI industry can just self-police, it's a fantasy. It's not happening. Second, the game is no longer about preventing attacks, it's about surviving them. We are officially living in a post-prevention world. Third, the vendors will always downplay how these exploits work to protect their brand, leaving the rest of us in the dark. And finally, if a defense contractor can get hit this easily, it means most companies' security plans are basically useless now, obsolete.
So, if the old playbook is out the window and breaches are just a fact of life now, what do we do? How do you even operate in this kind of environment?
The strategy has to change. It's no longer about keeping them out. It's about limiting the attacker's leverage once they're in. That means you have to be absolutely relentless about containing the breach, figuring out the damage fast, and getting your data back online as quickly as humanly possible.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty sobering question to think about. We now have proof that a single person can pull off what used to require the resources of a small country's intelligence agency. So the real question isn't if you'll be a target anymore, it's when. And looking around, are any of us truly prepared for that?